Hello, we are going to go ahead and do Seatwork for Math Arithmetic Lesson 126. Number 1, mark the bubble under the correct fraction. Which one is correct, 2/3 or 2/4? We have to know how many sections there are. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And so that would be the denominator. 4 would be the denominator and 2 are colored. 2 out of 4. So 2/4 was the correct answer. All right, here we go. Is this 1/4 or 1/3? Well, how many sections are there? Let's count the sections. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So it's 1 out of 4 are shaded. 1 is shaded out of 4 sections. How many sections are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 3/4, not 2/3. 3 are shaded out of 4. See, 1, 2, 3 are shaded out of 4. What fraction would you get for this picture? Well, 1, this one is 1. 1 is shaded out of how many sections all together? 1, 2, 3. 1/3 is the answer. Now they want you to color 1/3 of each group. So what I like to do to make sure I get the answer right is I like to go ahead and group them into groups of 3s because I know I want to circle 1/3. So here's a group of 3. And here's a group of 3. And now I want to color 1 out of each group. So I want to color 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 out of 3, 1/3, and 1 in this group. So how many honeybees are 1/3 of this group? Well, we colored in 1, 2, 3 honeybees. So the answer is 3. 3 honeybees. Here, in order to do 1/3 of these mosquitoes, we have to put them into groups of 3. So here's a group of 3, and here's a group of 3. Now let's color 1 out of the 3. 1 out of that 3, and 1 out of this 3. So how many mosquitoes did we color? 2 mosquitoes. 1, 2. And now we got to color 1 out of 3 here, 1 out of 3 here, 1 out of 3 here, and 1 out of 3 here. So 1 black fly out of this group of 3, 1 black fly out of this group of 3, 1 black fly out of this group of 3, and 1 black fly out of this group of 3. So how many black flies equal 1/3? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 black flies. Number 3. April and her family took a bike ride on a trail in Acadia. They rode for 2 hours and finished at 4:15 p.m. What time did they start? Well, if they finished at 4:15 and that was 2 hours later, because they rode for 2 hours, we would have to go backwards 2 hours. So before 4:15 comes 3:15. And what comes before 3:15? 2:15. We could do 4 hours, 15 minutes, take away 2 hours equals 2:15. 2:15 p.m. Bays Harbor Head Lighthouse was built in 1858. The first lighthouse on Baker Island was built in 1828. How many years earlier was Baker Island Lighthouse built than Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse? How many years earlier? So, and they show us what to do in our workspace. We subtract. How much later, how much earlier, how much farther is a clue to subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. 5 minus 2 equals 3. And 8 minus 8 and 0 or 1 minus 1. So it's 30 years earlier. Now finish the pattern. 10, 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half. What comes next? 12, 12 and a half, 13, 13 and a half. Remember, your whole numbers are large and your fractions are small. And what are they called when you have a whole number and a fraction together? Mixed numbers. Remember? All right, go ahead and look at this side. All right, here we go. 0 minus 4. You have to borrow. Make this a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. 0 minus 9. Borrow from the 8. Make it a 7. Make the 0 a 10. 10 minus 9 equals 1. 7 minus 7 is 0. 200 minus 125. Can you do 0 minus 5? No. Can you borrow from a 0? No. Borrow from the next neighbor. And now this 0 becomes a 10. And now we can borrow from this 10 to make this a 10. 10 minus 5 equals 5. 9 minus 2 equals 7. And 1 minus 1 is 0. All right. $700 minus 60. 0 minus 0 equals 0. 0 minus 6. Impossible. Go to the next door neighbor. Make the 7 a 6. Make this 0 a 10. 10 minus 6 equals 4. 6 minus nothing, 6. Write the temperature at the campground. Circle the clothes April should wear. All right. So we start at 60 and we count by twos. 62, 64, 66. I counted that wrong. 62, 64, 66, 68. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So, would she need a jacket, boots, or a winter coat for 68 degrees? She would just need a jacket. All right, what time did April's family eat breakfast? Well, breakfast. Is breakfast in the AM or the PM? Breakfast is before noon. It's AM. If it were afternoon, we'd put PM. All right, so we look at the shorthand first, and the shorthand is after the 8. And the longhand, the minute hand, is on which mark? The 30-minute mark. Remember? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's on the 30-minute mark. So the answer is 8:30 a.m. All right. So the children made a graph to see who took the most pictures in their camping trip. Who took the most pictures? Well, we see Amy took 15 pictures. Ben took 10 pictures. April took 20 pictures. Who took the most? April. Now it says how many did she take? April took 20. 20 pictures. Who took the fewest number of pictures? Ben. Ben only took 10. How many more pictures did Amy take than Ben? Remember, how many more means subtract. So we need a subtraction sign and an equal sign. And now we start with Amy. Amy took 15 pictures. Ben took 10 pictures. 15 minus 10 equals 5 pictures. We did not need to know how many April took. That was the distractor. Number 5, Acadia National Park is the second busiest national park. How many national parks are busier than Acadia? Well, if it's the second busiest, how many are busier? 1. 1 is the busiest, and Acadia is the second busiest. So 1 is busier than Acadia National Park. All right, I'll see you again tomorrow for Seatwork. Have a good day.